Welcome to Inside Sim Racing. I'm a grown man, and today we are doing our first test drive of Project Cars 2. And what makes this special is this isn't the media preview version of Project Cars 2. This is the final release version of Project Cars 2. Well, almost final release version. It sounds like it's probably gonna be a day one update and probably be patches upon patches later. But anyway, this is for the most part the final version of the game that you guys will be receiving on September 22nd. Now, before we go any further, I have to mention by law that this is a paid video, but that doesn't really affect this video because I was already planning on putting a test drive out and just kind of showing you Project Cars 2 in its final version, and you guys can see how the AI races and the graphics and the tracks and all that good stuff. And also I talk a little bit about what we are expecting from Project Cars 2. And we'll really get down to nitty-gritty about what we think about the game with our extensive review that will be out in a matter of days. So we'll cover all that good stuff there. But for now, this is just more or less a look at it via test drive. And one other thing that is good about this being a paid video is we have copies of Project Cars 2 to give away. So make sure you stick around to the end of the video so you can learn how you can win a copy yourself. Now, for this test drive, decided to go and fire up the Acura NSX GT3 at Circuit of the Americas. Earlier this week, Project Cars and the Pirelli World Challenge Series announced a partnership that the Pirelli cars, or at least some of the cars, will be showing up in Project Cars 2. So we decided to go and grab one of those and take it for a spin. So with that said, please enjoy this test drive of Project Cars 2, our first test drive of the final game. And yeah, I think you guys will enjoy it, and make sure you stick around to the end so you can learn how you can win a copy yourself. Enjoy. Welcome to Circuit of the Americas and our GT3 race and Project Cars 2. So I went with the option to have a warm-up lap. So that's why things are a little more spread out than they would be if you let the game do it. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing because turn one can be awfully tight. Like that. A lot of work to do, starting shotgun on a field of 20, and only an 8-lap race. We're racing against 80% AI strength. Ooh, got a little sideways there. And they're running at 50% aggression, so right in the middle. And honestly, I probably could have run at tougher AI, but you know, want to pass cars. Show you all the different GT3 cars in Project Cars 2. Because there are 187 cars in Project Cars 2, and a good chunk of them are from the GT3 class. I think there's something like over 20 cars in GT3. And staying with the theme of this video, I'm driving Ryan Eversley's Acura NSX GT3 in the proper livery. And we're gonna see a smattering of other cars throughout this field from the Pirelli World Challenge running the proper livery. Woo! And just gonna try to go around the outside here. Okay, so lap one in the books. up 2 spots. Not too shabby. Let's see what we can do with this big Bentley. Ooh, a little too hot in there. So, besides just going and running in a car from the Pirelli World Challenge and running against other cars that are also in the series, taking this this copycat, for lack of a better word, to a new level, because you can in Project Cars 2. So Project Cars 2 allows you to customize a lot of pretty neat options. One of them is the time of day of the race. And essentially, you can pick whatever day on the calendar you want to race, and then start the race at any time of day. Because Project Cars 2 supports 24-hour races. So, me properly stalking the Pirelli World Challenge, I went and I set this race for September 1st of 2017 with a start time of 7 p.m. local, which, as I'm sure you're guessing by now, sorry buddy, was the date and start time of the real world race. So, that is pretty neat. I mean, I'm someone who got started in the sim racing being a NASCAR fan, and my early sim racing days was me just trying to... Whoa! That was big. Was me just trying to recreate... Hey, there's a car there. The races I was watching that weekend. So I'd go to all the same tracks, and I'd try to download cars with the same paint schemes and all that good stuff. So it's cool that you can come into Project Cars 2 and be a fan of a series like the Pirelli World Challenge and duplicate the schedule right along with them. And this isn't going to be the only, officially licensed series. There's
your best first sector so far. Great job.
Thank you. There's Indy cars in Project Cars 2, and you'll be able to do the same thing if you want to go and follow along with their calendar. You can do that as well. So something else that also brings more of a realistic feel to the game is you can almost endlessly adjust weather as well. So for this race, I went and I put 3 different types of weather scenarios, and we started off with pretty good overcast, and now you'll see the sky is kind of lightening up, and it's going to be all clear by the time this race ends. So in 8 laps, you're going to see 3 different weather conditions. And then I went, and just so you guys can really see it, I sped up the time by 2x. So we're going to get to darkness twice as fast as we usually would. But it's going to be a little bit of a race between what gets here first. The lighter skies, the clouds clearing up,
That's your fastest lap so far today.
or darkness, which I think is going to be pretty cool. Something else that's pretty cool is this effect isn't just a single canned effect. I mean, if I quit this race and went into a new race and I ran these same 3 weather conditions, I could hop in and it could be much more cloudy at this point in the race, or even lighter. There's a scale of randomness there within those parameters. Wow, I am slideways.
That's your best first sector so far. Keep it going.
But I'm fast. Loose is fast.
Great pass. Keep pushing.
So yeah, things like time of day and weather really upping the immersion factor in Project Cars 2. Something else that should also help with immersion are the tracks in Project Cars 2. So most of the tracks and all of the new tracks
You're in a good position to
are either
Don't
laser
take it when you're in,
scanned.
but try squeezing past when you can.
Woohoo, that was tight. Are either laser scanned or drone scanned. Now, I do not know which scanning technique was used for Coda here, which is a new track in Project Cars 2. But whichever method they use, it feels pretty legit. I mean, having previously driven laser scanned and non-laser scan versions of this track, this thing feels right. So obviously that's paying off, and it'll be interesting to see how the other new tracks perform.
That was a great pass. Fantastic.
And it'll be interesting to see how the tracks in Project Cars 1 feel and how much the developers went back and touched those ones up. Okay, we're on lap 5, up to 14th position. Not too shabby. I'm running the baseline setup for the NSX, and have to say, it is a lot of oversteer. Gotta really be careful applying throttle and running over these curves. Maybe? Super late dive. But he was giving me the space. Something I want to point out, it's really cool to see the windshield wiper kind of vibrating away down the straight. It's a pretty cool effect, and I like how subtle it is. Like, it's just something you really barely pick up, which I think that makes it more realistic than it vibrating like crazy. There we go. That's a good run. Try to close on this Mercedes and the twisty bits. So I don't think we're as fast down the straights. Down the first gear just because it slowed me down a little bit there. That's the cool thing about the GT3 class, and one of the reasons why I wanted to do a race with GT3 cars besides the Pirelli World Challenge announcement recently. And it's just, the variety is really neat to see, and each car has different strength and weakness. Yet, pretty much all these cars are, ooh, that was close, are very approachable, which is why they're very popular cars in real life for folks like gentleman racers, and also very popular in sim racing.
That's the best sector time of anyone so far. Great job. Keep it up.
Oh man, awesome. But yeah, I mean, they're
Hard on the pressure. Come on. Keep at it. You're gonna
Okay.
get past it.
damn straight I am. But yeah, they're very approachable, and they're cool cars. I mean, it's neat to be able to go and race a bunch of different cars. So I totally understand people's attraction to them. Speaking of an engine, here's the Cadillac out drag racing me. Oh, it turned in big time. I had to go and give him a bump. That wasn't very nice. Okay. A little bit wide there. Now, something else that I want to mention about Project Cars 2 that I don't know, or at least don't think we're going to see here, and that's the Live Track 3.0. So, the Live Track of Project Cars 2 is essentially the cars are out there circulating on track, and as they circulate, they put rubber down, and now the track will show that transformation taking place. It'll visually show it with the track turning dark where the cars are running, with the rubber getting into the track. And then you should feel a difference. And that might be the track getting grippier once there's more rubber put down. And then to some degree there's a transition where you get too much rubber put down and it becomes slick. So, and then of course there'll be marbles and things like that offline. So I'm very keen to check that out. Like I said, in 8 laps, I don't think we're going to see that, but think of a 24-hour race with that going on. That should be very cool to see and to feel. Okay, hold off that dive bomb. Something else I'm really looking forward to as well with the game is multi-class racing. So here, just running GT3 cars, but you can run multiple classes. I think it's set at maxed out at 4 different classes you can run at one time on the track. And I think that will make multiplayer endurance races pretty epic. There's actually a lot on the multiplayer side that I'm really looking forward to, and unfortunately... Oh, we're all going for the same space. Okay, I'm clear. Woof. That was something. Anyway, what I was getting at is multiplayer in Project Cars 2 sounds like it's going to be pretty awesome with different features that they have planned, so looking forward to checking those out, but we'll probably have to wait until more people are online to do so. And right on cue, last lap of the race, and now everything's gotten a little bit darker out here. That NSX behind me really poured it in that corner. Oh, big run. Oh, screeching tires. Well, that's not very nice. You're a fellow NSX. You're not supposed to do that. Let's see if I have enough time to catch him. I'm not so sure. There we go. All the power now. Last corner dive bomb. Oh no! Baby, come on! Faster! Come on! No! Darn. Oh, and I gotta make sure not to wreck him on the cooldown lap. Okay, well, considering we started in 20th with a fairly spread out field and only had 8 laps, finishing the top 10 ain't too shabby. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed our first test drive in Project Cars 2. I mean, we covered a lot of different stuff there in that very short test drive, and it's really just scratching the surface. I mean, this is a deep title, and there's so much more that we need to cover, and we will be covering in our extensive review that will be out in only a matter of days. But in the meantime, hopefully this tied you over. You got to see the final release version of the game that's much more updated than the media previews that have been out there in the wild for the past few months. So yeah, it's getting close. I know there's a lot of you guys who have been waiting. And speaking of waiting, let's now get to how you can enter to win a copy of Project Cars 2. All you have to do is go into the description of this video, click on the link, and that will give you all the details of how to sign up and try to win a copy. Best of luck to you all. So that will do it for our first test drive of Project Cars 2, the final release version. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We'll have more Project Cars 2 coverage, size review coming, so definitely want to be subscribed. Check out our website, isrtv.com, and our Amazon affiliate links in the description below. Click on the link, shop through Amazon, doesn't cost you a thing, kicks back a little towards us. I'm John Sable. Thank you for watching Inside Sim Racing. Please take care of you and yours.